CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV. Welcome to CBT News with Shyann Malone.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for joining us. And now here's today's top stories.
Starting off our coverage, Cox Automotive expects January seasonally annually adjusted rate, or sales pace, to finish near 15.8 million, exceeding the market constraints from 2023. According to projections from Cox Automotive, sales volume for January is expected to increase 8.3% compared to January 2023, highlighting the recovery from product shortages that have impacted the market last year. Despite this positive trend, it's important to note that January traditionally records the lowest sales volume of the year. The forecast also suggests a 21.3% decrease in sales volume when compared to December. Additionally, fleet sales are anticipated to grow faster than retail sales, increasing by over 7% from last year. A recent investigation conducted by a company found that General Motors' autonomous vehicle operation Cruise was primarily responsible for the regulatory oversights and cover-up concerns plaguing GM since October. The investigation revealed that cultural difficulties, incompetence, and poor leadership at Cruise were the root causes of these issues. The investigation also delved into the incident that occurred on October 2nd in San Francisco, where a pedestrian was hit by a car and then dragged by a Cruise robotaxi. The report, which spanned 105 pages, was released on January 25th, examined whether Cruise representatives misled reporters or investigators about the incident. Toyota said it would suspend shipments of 10 models after finding irregularities in certification tests for diesel engines developed by affiliate Toyota Industries. The company has stated that it will thoroughly explain the matter to authorities and take necessary measures, such as conducting new engine certification tests in the presence of regulators. During the investigation, it was found that the electric control units used during horsepower output testing were different from those used during engine production. Wrapping up our coverage, during a lecture on Toyota's production systems, longtime chairman Akio Toyoda expressed his belief that EVs will only capture 30% of the market. Quote, "No matter how much progress BEVs make, according to Toyota, the remaining 70% of the market will be composed of hybrid electric vehicles, fuel cell electric vehicles, and hydrogen engines." Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Len Short, the chairman and CEO of LotLinks, to discuss how dealers can more efficiently sell their aging vehicle inventory.
CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV.
So what challenges are dealers facing right now? I touched on a little of them in the opening, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, it's no secret that we're in a cooling market. We were running a beta with some of the best operators in the country on a new lead product, and they were achieving 50, 60% appointment set rates from this leads.
Yeah.
And then in October, it started to slow down. Nothing changed about the leads. It all changed about the consumer.
Yeah.
right? And they're telling us, hey, new car leads normally close 45, maybe 60 days. They're approaching a doubling of that close time, right? It's just, and it's essentially because of what we all know. Inflation has driven a lot of people to be a lot more careful about their money. So it's a very price sensitive market.
Yeah.
And, inventory is coming back, and, and dealers are starting to carry over more and more inventory. And, our view is, and I come from the Wall Street, we're moving from a bull market to a bear market.
Yeah.
Not a bad bear market. I think we'll have a nice solid 15 plus million SAR this year, but highly competitive. Now what we're advising is dealers got to get their defensive game going, right? You got to start looking at, what you're carrying over, what inventory risk you have, and develop a strategy to play defense on that risk inventory.
That's right. That's right. We hear so much, Len, about the use of data. I mean, it's first and foremost on every dealer's mind, the best way to use data. I know this is something that is near and dear to your heart, and you've done, built a company around it. How can data help dealers face these kinds of challenges?
What we've been teaching dealers is, think of it this way: your marketing stack has been highly refined. Okay, you guys are smart guys. You work through it, dozens and dozens of vendors, but think of it this way: it's working on what you're selling.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not working for what you're carrying over.
That's right.
And when you start to think of it that way, you start drilling in and you see, wait a second, I see it. My marketing is delivering to what I'm selling, but the VINs that I'm not selling aren't getting viewed. They're not getting shopped. My marketing is not working there.
That's right.
And that's what I mean by a defensive strategy. You've got to develop a strategy to make sure that those VINs are getting seen. The way we're using data, big data, is we can use now AI or machine learning, and we can predict within 3.5 days, on day 0, when a car is actually going to sell based on those market circumstances.
Wow.
And within $300, what it's going to sell for. So we're very focused on this defensive game, risk inventory, predicting risk, and executing against that risk right away.
Yeah.
And not letting it become a problem, because here's the issue: over 90% of the markdowns happen after after holdover, right? Oh, just shy of 90% of the holding cost happen. In a bull market, that wasn't that punishing. You made a bad decision on a car at auction, the market was going to let you out of it.
That's right. You're still getting out of it
a little bit, but right now is going to be brutally punishing.
And be sure to watch this full interview right here at cbtnews.com. That wraps up our show for today, but we do invite you right back here tomorrow morning on cbtnews.com. And remember, you can stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry by following us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content. CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV